Hi. So, today I'm going to invite you to a brief centering practice, and this will work for when you don't have enough time for a nice long 15, 20 minute, 30 minute centering practice, but you still want to come back to center and come back to your body. Reorganize yourself toward your purpose, your longing. So you're more than welcome to practice seated if that's what works better for your body today, or you can go ahead and stand. Alright, so inside of every practice, you know that there is a purpose. So inside of centering, we are practicing becoming present, open, and connected. And we're practicing being connected to our purpose as well, or what matters to us. We're building a skill that we can come back to over and over again in our lives. So let's first drop our attention into the feeling self, into sensations, emotions, senses. So you might just notice where you're feeling warmer and where you're feeling cooler. That information is happening through our senses. You might notice right now where your breath is and where your breath isn't. Just ways to start rooting or anchoring ourselves into a different intelligence, right? The intelligence of our senses and feelings. You might notice where you feel more relaxed, where you feel more tense. And let's all drop our attention just down below the belly button. And if you want to put a hand there, you can do that below the belly button. This is our center of gravity when we're standing. And this is the center where we're building this home to come back to again and again. We center in 4 dimensions: length, width, depth, and purpose. So from center, we're going to center first in this direction of length. So settling your attention down into your hips and your lower body, and then lengthening up the spine at the same time, like feeling in your full height from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. And if you want to add a stretch, you can stretch one arm down and one arm up, just feeling that full length. Yeah, just a gentle stretch. And you can switch your arms down and up, lengthening out the feet, up the top of the head. And centering in your whole length, we also identify length as dignity. So we're centering in dignity and really recognizing dignity in others. Yeah, so our own dignity and the dignity of others, right? So centering in length. So now we're going to go with width, centering our side to side. If you want to add a little stretch, you can just gently stretch your hands side to side, open up those palms, widen out your whole soma, your whole body. And when you're ready, you can just relax. But feel that width from the inside out, across your collarbones. You can feel inside your body. And let your hips go ahead and widen. Even your feet, just widen out on the floor and balancing left and right. Yes. So we're not kind of pulling one direction or the other. We're just really centering down that center line and widening. In width, we also really look at connection, right? So letting ourselves out, letting others in, having boundaries and width in the relational space when we need them, centering in connection. So we have length, dignity, width, and connection. Let's go for depth. And since so many of our devices pull us forward, let's feel the back body first. So just find the space between your shoulder blades, We find the sensation at the back of your hips or the back of your legs. It's really opening up to the back space, the back body. We think about death as history or what has come before us. You may think, wow, there's 3 billion years of evolutionary wisdom at our backs. There's your history, your lived experience, your ancestors, just opening up to that backspace and all there is to learn from history. And then come back into the body all the way through the front space. And in depth, maybe take a breath where you're standing, your ribs front to back, just making a little bit more space in your own internal landscape, feeling and sensing your organs, your muscles, maybe your last meal digesting, and then coming all the way to the front body. Maybe find your sternum or the tip of your nose or your kneecaps, and then again balancing back and front. We're not pulled back, we're not pushed forward, we're just balancing ourselves in depth. And so let's put all three of those together and just feel your length, width, and depth, and this dropped center point, right where these living, changing organisms all day long, right, throughout hopefully a long lifespan. And then as we're present here, open, connected, the last thing that we center in is really who and what we care about, or our purpose. So go ahead and just let yourself center in what matters to you, why you're here, what your purpose or calling is. And while that might be a thought or an image, let it come all the way down to the center and then spread through your whole nervous system. So we're practicing being connected to our values and our visions, and let that fill you out, right? And so before our centering practice comes to an end, we finish with a mood check. So how are you feeling? And what has you know that you're feeling this way? And we really welcome anything: anger, frustration, joy, shame, love, anything that is present here now. Yeah, so what's your mood? Okay, so we're done. And I hope that you like this practice, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.